Let me give you a quick history of nuclear. Turns out, back in the day, in the 60s, we had two different options for nuclear power. We had Admiral Rickover, who was pioneering light water reactors that required a lot of pressure, a lot of water that he used on his submarines. He was petitioning that we put these on land. Turns out those reactors were very, very, very good at making plutonium, which meant it was very good at making weapons, and that was very appealing to the US government. There was another individual that we don't often hear about, however. His name was Alvin Weinberg. He was a scientist at the Oak Ridge National Lab, and he had a different idea. Instead of getting this uranium and cramming it into pellets and then wrapping it in containers, and then another layer of protection, and then another layer of protection, he proposed that we take thorium, which is a similarly usable fuel for nuclear, and we dissolve it into a salt. And what that meant is, instead of needing all kinds of these mechanical layers to hold that in, the salt chemically binds not just the thorium, but also the dangerous radioactive byproducts and prevents them from leaving. It traps it all in chemically. And chemistry, unlike our mechanical barriers, is not likely to fail. And he proposed this, and it basically got to a point in the 60s where the US said, we can only fund one of these two paths. We cannot afford to do both. Rickover was persuasive, and he promised the bomb, and therefore we chose light water reactors and moved forward with this. The problem is salt reactors have some amazing, amazing benefits. When you look at nuclear waste, there's really just three parts. One is the leftover fuel. One is all the leftover split pieces of uranium, they call them the fission products. And then one is the plutonium and the americium and the curium, and that's the stuff that lasts 300,000 years that we don't know what to do with. Well, it turns out with these salt reactors, because we dissolve the fuel in the salt, we can pull each of those pieces out one at a time, separate them into something valuable, and sell them. For example, Moly-99, which is roughly $30 million per gram. So it's incredible value to this nuclear waste. We just can't get it apart in the typical reactors because it's trapped inside these fuel pins. And we'd have to chop them up, dissolve them, pull all the pieces out. In the salt, we can do that directly. Not only that, it is impossible for a salt reactor to melt down. For part of the reason is because it's already liquid. There is no melting of a liquid. It is melted. But also there are other physics involved that make it so a Fukushima type event or a Chernobyl type event is impossible. Incredible technology that people are now starting to look at again because of the benefits.